Lion King Nail Art Tutorial by Hot Pink Zebra Polish. Begin by painting all of your nails sort of a golden yellow. You don't want it to be like bright yellow. So then using thin lines, we're going to start in black paint. I'm just going to be painting like the outlines of Simba's head. And I'm going to start with the top of his head, and then right in the center, he's got like those little tufts of hair. And then I'm just going to paint a line for like the top of his ears. And then these next lines are like just to separate that first section of his ears. And then I'm going to continue working on the bottom of his head. And if you didn't want to do this first outlining part first, you could do everything else and then outline last, however you prefer to do it. So now I'm working on, that's his nose. And I am looking at a picture as I'm painting this. I do suggest looking at a picture just so that you have, some knowledge of where everything is placed. So now like right beneath his nose, like his upper lip area, and then his chin. And I'm going to be painting him with his mouth open. So now I've got that bottom area all finished off. So I'm going to work on his head. I'm going to start with just painting his eyebrows, or not his head, his eye area. So I'm going to start with his eyebrows and then work down. And if you do make a mistake, if something's not how you want it, you can always, what I like to think of as erase. If you take like a cotton bud or even like a little piece of paper towel or something and dip it in rubbing alcohol, you can just take that and erase whatever you need to when you're using acrylic paint, and you can start over with that area. So then I'm going to be just adding in like the area that would be the white of his eye, and then so his eyes are in 3 circles and the center one is going to be black. And he's also got a little bit more of that hair that comes down his forehead. And then the bottom area of his ears is also black. So now with watered down brown, I'm going to be darkening his eyelids. So that's that very outer area underneath his eyebrows. And then with full strength brown, go in his eyes. And also with that watered down, the full strength, fill in his ears as well. So now I'm going to be filling in his mouth with red. And then the outer area of his eyes with yellow, with like a pastel yellow. And a lot of this has to get fixed later, the outlines that you made. But that was just sort of like the sketch, just to get you started. And his nose, fill that in with pink. And I'm going to lighten underneath his nose and his chin with watered down white, just so it looks a little bit brighter. Okay, so now paint 3 whiskers coming off each side of that, what I call the upper lip area, almost like his little cheeks. And also, if you need to touch up anything else, you can do that too. And I'm going to paint his nostrils with red. And then he needs a couple little teeth. And a reflection in each eye. And his teeth, on the top, it's like little spots, and on the bottom, it's just a small little line. On the ring nail, I'm going to be using the same black paint I have been, and I'm going to be painting the logo that is on Lion King's playbill. So this is kind of a combination of movie and Broadway play, or musical, I guess. I love them both. I've seen them both, and so I decided to use both of them. And so I'm going to start by just painting like the sketch of this lion's head, and then I'm going to add his eye. And this is the same thing. I would suggest looking at a picture just so that you get it how you want it and how it's supposed to be. So there's his nose and like the line dividing his mouth, and then a couple little lines, his whiskers and ears. So as you can see, this one is a little bit more, I don't know what you want to call it, a little bit more tribal looking. It also looks very similar to the little painting that Rafiki made on the tree in Lion King. So if you wanted, it could also sort of be like from the movie. They're very similar in appearance that way. And so continue adding these lines for his mane until there's lines going all around his head. And if your nail is much longer than mine, they wouldn't go all the way to the tip either, so you'd stop them before the tip of your nail. On your index nail, we're going to be sponging half of it with red, and we're going to be sponging it vertically instead of horizontally like you would normally sponge, so it's a little different. And I'm using red paint, although I would suggest using polish for sponging instead. I don't always take my own advice, but just sponge that half, and right about directly halfway in the middle of your nail. Mine's a little past that as well. But then with white, I'm going to be painting the Lion King, and I'm going to start with just painting a line, because if you look at the movie's logo, this is how I'm painting it. So I'm going to start with that line, and then I'm going to start with the N right about in the center of the line, underneath it, and then finish off the lion in front of it. And the L of Lion King, the L goes up above the line, like so. And then paint King, and just how like the L goes above the line, the G of King also goes above the line. And then really small above all of that, or right above the line, write the. On your middle nail, I'm going to be painting just black stripes, very similar to the ones on the logo from the playbill. This is almost kind of like painting the rays from the sun or something. They're just sort of abstract. And lastly, on your pinky nail, I'm going to be doing some more sponging, but this time I'm doing it horizontally like you would if you were to normally sponge. And of course, add a layer of top coat. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you like my design. Please share recreations with me on Facebook and Twitter. I would love to see them, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!